Oh man. Okay, hi guys. Let me get myself situated. No talk. Um, it's a lot colder out here than I thought it was, and I don't know how I don't learn this by now that it's gonna be fucking freezing. Like the last time when I went out on the lake, it was so cold and I didn't even have a coat. And I don't have a coat now, and I why do I not use my brain sometimes? Like, yes, the sun is out, but that doesn't mean that it's 60 degrees and I can sit here and not be cold. And it's so windy. So I really hope that you can't hear like the wind, like on the microphone. Hold on, let me situate. Brr. Oh my goodness gracious, it's cold. Okay, today we're going to talk about healthy and unhealthy relationships with weed and the difference between the two and how important it is to have a healthy relationship with weed because we've all been there and we've all had the brain fog. We all have had mental health issues and we have all probably abused weed like we shouldn't. Um, but I haven't smoked yet today. I just went to the gym and I haven't smoked yet. So I'm going to hit my cart and then we can talk. I'm trying to pop the air bubble and I'm fucking struggling. I hate this. I wonder if my phone's gonna fall. Uh oh, Jesus Christ. I 110% just use my earring to scrape the wax out of the tip of this moo-haw. I'm not gonna lie, this moo-haw fucking sucks. Um, I kind of get what all the hype is about. Like, it's the most real weed you could get without going to dispensary. But bro, this shit gets clogged so bad. Every time I try to hit it, I'm like, it is the biggest struggle in the fucking world. Nobody wants to deal with that shit. Nobody. When I want to hit my card, I want to peacefully hit it. I want to just take it and I just want to hit it. Like when you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't go back to sleep and you turn to hit that cart and it's clogged and you're like trying to suck the soul out of it to get a good hit. Yeah, that shit pisses me off. That happened 3 times last night. Did not sleep very good last night. Still have yet to hit this cart. Hold on. I'm not gonna lie, this is kind of frustrating. The phone keeps falling and my cart won't hit. Hold on. Finally got it hitting. Not the Muha though. Soon I'll start buying bud and we can start smoking joints on the podcast. I'm just scared that like YouTube's gonna take it down and then like the whole video is just gonna go to shit because the whole time I'm just sitting here smoking a joint. At least if I'm smoking the card, I can like cut out the clips of me smoking it. Like that way I don't get in trouble. My med cart is like on its ends width wins. What the fuck? What the fuck? Okay, I took some notes from like some um like resources online. There's gonna be two parts to this podcast. One being, God, it's so windy. Stop. Oh my god. Like, bruh, do you want to fucking fight or something? This is going to piss me off like no other. Okay. Um, the first part of this podcast is going to be like research from that I did online and like basically what professionals say about having a healthy relationship with weed. And then the second half will kind of be my my perspective on relationships with weed based on personal experience. Just I've kind of gone through a lot over the past couple years and just how I've used it and how my relationship with it has grown so much. And yeah, and just how important it is to make sure that we're not abusing our substances. I want to make sure that everybody on this podcast knows that I'm not coming on here to be like, yeah, like smoke weed, do drugs. Weed is not a drug. Weed is a medicine. Fucking Christ. Oh my god, this shit is killing me, bruh. Weed is a medicine. And with all medicines, it's important not to abuse them. Truly. You don't abuse the doctor's pills. that they give you. Oh my god. It's ripping my paper. Abuse the doctor's pills that they give you just like you shouldn't abuse weed. Um in moderation, everything is good. Yeah. Okay. So I just, kind of went into Google and was like, AI, why is it important to have a healthy relationship with weed? And here's the AI quoted response that they gave me, okay? And what a definition of a healthy relationship with weed means. It means using cannabis responsibly, being mindful of your consumption, frequency, and dosage, and ensuring it doesn't negatively impact your life or relationships, allowing you to, soak in those potential benefits while avoiding harmful consequences, being open and honest with your usage with others, and setting clear boundaries about around when and how to use it. Okay, let's. I I am really pissed off with this paper. It's fucking ripping. Like what? I wanted to play with my slime, and now the slime is holding down the paper. And matter of fact, it's not even doing a good job at it. Okay. Um, Here's some of the key points to having a healthy relationship with weed. Moderation. Just like I said, everything is good in moderation. You can have sweets one day, but that doesn't mean that you should be eating that all day. All day, every day. You can binge eat, you can slip up one time, and you can eat a fuck ton of food, but you shouldn't do that every night. Yeah, I'm scared the microphone is like not working. Um, I think really with weed, moderation is so key. Like, I know what it feels like to be high 24/7. And yes, it feels good in a way, but in a way it doesn't because you almost feel not conscious all the time. And I think sometimes we don't even realize how much weed we're actually smoking and how it's affecting us. And sometimes it just takes a little bit to realize that you don't need to hit the cart right when you wake up in the morning. And that and just to learn that moderation is key. It takes failure to learn lessons. And from my personal experiences, I have gone through every phase with weed. I went from being a social smoker to buying my own carts and hitting it at night, and then to hitting it all day, and then to hitting it before school in the morning, bringing it to school with me, and not really being conscious in those classes and kind of just using it as this escape. And your intention with smoking weed is so important because if you find that you're using it to escape your life, to escape your brain and your thoughts, then maybe it's time to slow down a little bit because that's how we lose ourselves. And life is about growing and becoming connected to our higher self. And ultimately, weed is an amazing tool to do so. When you know how to use weed correctly and to use it for its spiritual purposes, and you know um life changes, and it is the biggest tool in your toolkit, and I will preach that to the day I die. Weed is a gift from nature, and it was meant to you know allow us to look inwards into ourselves and kind of feel those feelings that we're having. And sometimes we lose sight of the fact that of what its real purpose really is. And sometimes we like to use it to party, and we take too much of it and we green out, and 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 that's how we create an unhealthy relationship with weed, when we don't have the right intentions and we're not using it right. Another key point that I have written down here, sorry, I went on a little tangent, is mindfulness. Just if listen to your body. If your body is telling you now is not a good time to smoke, then maybe listen to that. Sometimes I tend to crave a cart rip, like that feeling of when it goes into your lungs, and that feeling of relief. But maybe I'm getting ready to go to a shift and I don't necessarily want to be high out of my mind for the shift. I want to be present, and hitting the cart can wait. But sometimes I feel like I don't listen to my body and I just hit the cart anyways, and then you kind of regret it later. And just being mindful of when the right place and time is. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't hit that car all day long. I'm just saying if your gut is telling you that now is not a good moment, then maybe it's not a good moment. And just being mindful of like how you're feeling or what effects you hitting it right now might have. Like sometimes I feel like I have a to-do list of things and I have all this stuff to get done and I'm like, dude, this is so stressful, let me hit the cart. But I am mindful that knowing the cart is going to only make me more tired and not want to do those things for. I might be calm and at peace, but I'm not getting my shit done. The I'm not going and doing all this schoolwork that I have to do, or I'm not, I don't know. I'm not cleaning my room, I'm not doing my laundry. Sometimes, yes, I do that, but if I know that I'm already tired and I'm gonna hit this cart and it's gonna make me more tired and I do it anyways, I'm just bluntly ignoring myself. I'm not being mindful. And I used to do that all the time. I used to be like, okay, maybe today I'll just like take a break, you know? And then I would just hit the cart anyways, because out of habit. You just want what you're used to. And honestly, I don't blame you. Okay, open communication online really said this point and I guess I agree, yeah, but it doesn't play that much like in my life because um I just kind of do my own thing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't have many friends. I have my one best friend and she smokes so much weed, and I don't really put myself around people that might judge me for smoking weed, and or that it might be this thing where I have to like be like, okay, I'm gonna smoke right now, and then them maybe be like, but I get the point of clear communication and whether that's with your partner and setting boundaries as to when is the appropriate time to smoke weed and when's not. Or if that's with your parents, they don't want you to smoke weed in the house. Okay, don't go outside. You know, it's simple things like that that make smoking weed like a little bit less toxic and a little less like a drug, if that makes sense. Like it's the secret like thing that I shouldn't be doing, but I'm doing it because I secretly enjoy it. No, that's not what it's about. Weed is about me and my higher self, at least to me. Okay? Um Also setting boundaries. If you say, okay, I'm not going to smoke until tonight, and then you wake up, or and then some minor inconvenience happens and you start tweaking, you start stressing out, and then you smoke, and then you bluntly ignored those boundaries that you set for yourself, it's gonna kind of feel shitty. It's gonna feel like you didn't show up for yourself. And it's very important to show up for ourselves. If And this kind of goes to like the smoking before work thing that I was saying. Like, and when I say that I shouldn't smoke before work and I don't want to, but I do it anyways because, I'm looking for that calmness and that relief. Um, yeah, I'm just breaking a boundary with myself. I told myself I wasn't going to do something and then I did it anyways. I feel like there's other concepts to boundaries with weed that I'm missing, but I just I am very mindful to my thoughts and I like to, listen to how I'm feeling and I like to show up for myself. I take pride in taking care of myself. And if I have some goals for the day and one of them is to just wait a minute and, feel my raw emotions um, before smoking, I like to listen to that. Um, Online also said being aware of the risk. This could be, like greening out, stuff like that, and negatively infecting your life. You could get in trouble, legal consequences. This is all true with everything. Just just like everything, it's important to know like what you're getting yourself into. And although I don't think that there's any major risks with smoking weed, of course you could get that anxiety feeling, that panic attack, but you're not going to die. You're not going to overdose. If anything, it's going to be a learningful moment for you. You're going to realize that or you're going to realize, I don't know, that it's not meant for you or that maybe you need to be in a calmer setting. It's also about who we're around. Like I often found when I was first starting smoking weed in social settings and I would smoke weed around people that gave me anxiety, stressed me out, or like just weren't really good people, I would, panic. Or I would do things that I wouldn't normally do. like, fall pressure to drinking alcohol. I'm not a big drinker and I never have been. I've always preferred weed. I don't like that feeling of being out of control, but you put my high ass in a setting with people that aren't good at me and that maybe are peer pressuring me into things that I don't want to do. Yeah, maybe I'll drink. Or maybe I'll have sex with the wrong person. Or, kiss the wrong person, say something I'm not supposed to. Um, that doesn't really happen much anymore. I know how to control myself, but like before, like when I was first, getting into this stuff, that was really important to make sure that I felt safe around the people I was with. I often found that when I was high with my friends, um, I didn't necessarily have the best friend group. There was a lot of lying and manipulating and backstabbing that they would do things like, steal your weed. And then you'd be so high you had no idea. And like go home the next day and be like, this happened last night and why did you do that to me? And yeah. And like when you're around people that you don't trust and you're in a vulnerable state, it's so scary. It truly is. And I've been in so many situations where I felt that way. Um, I'll get into that when we get to like the personal part, I kind of just yapped my ass off. Okay. And then I also took note of what you should use weed for, like the benefits of it, like stress relief. I keep seeing all these moms on TikTok where they're like, smoke weed, like, fuck it, who cares? Hold on, I want to make sure it's still recording. Or not, fuck it, who cares? But being a mom is stressful, and sometimes you just need something to take the edge off. And honestly, I would rather the moms out there be smoking a joint instead of fucking like getting drunk and being an alcoholic and being out of control and being not in tune with their emotions. Again, for me, weed is such a spiritual thing. It's not even about getting high. It's about feeling those raw emotions and kind of going within and just connecting with my higher self and just being able to be more creative and, maybe write. I like to write a lot. I like to really debrief my emotions on paper and just kind of, getting deep inside. Like, I can't even explain it like more than that. Weed has been the most healing thing for me. It's insane. Also, like pain management, I always find myself with fucking headaches or I'm so nauseous. And weed is medicine. Like, people are prescribed weed. And honestly, I wish more people were given med cards for their issues. Um, I want to hit my cart. I mean, they started talking about how prescribing CBD and THC to cancer patients is helping them. And that's crazy. The fact that we're just discovering this and this has been around until the fucking when the universe was created, like that's crazy. This plant that grows out of the ground is doing more help from people than their chemo treatments. And I don't know my facts truly. I just know that a lot of people with, pain, like arthritis or just anxiety, depression, or like more physical pain. I guess I don't know the conditions and stuff and names for them, but people are prescribed that all the time. And I wish we would stop giving opioids out and we start getting shrooms and weed because honestly, I would pick something growing out of the fucking ground any day over a pill. When I have a headache, I hit the card. I'm not out here taking all these pills, ibuprofen. I do sometimes, but like the weed is my best friend. I got this CBD oil stuff and oh my god, when I have my period cramps, I just rub it all over like that area and it helps so much. And it's just CBD. It is just a chemical in this plant and it is working wonders. Like it's crazy. And um, like when I period cramps and I hit the cart, I low key forget they're even there. Like they just ease them so much. It's yeah. Okay. Another thing is enhanced creativity. This is my thing. I love coloring. I love writing, journaling. I like writing on my planner, my calendar. Oh my god, I created that vision board. Oh my god. or like those things, or just like, you know, going online and researching something just because you feel like it, taking notes on something, watching a podcast, watching something productive, and just, kind of diversing yourself in it. This right here, this is creative. I am out in nature and I'm sitting here talking to you guys. Um, I'm sitting here looking at the camera, just talking and just chilling. And I wrote down notes last night of what I was going to talk about. And I went and looked up my Snapchat memories, and I kind of dove into myself of who I used to be so I could kind of explain my personal experiences a little bit more. And like, that's creative. What I do on TikTok is creative. And it honestly is so healing to me. It brings me so much joy. Like, I don't even know. Just being able to create stuff, just expressing yourself in those type of ways feels so good. It's like so healing for your inner child. Um I wanted to say this before. I think I forgot, or maybe I touched on it a little bit in the first one. But talking to you guys and having so many people that care about me and love me and just like, I don't know, want to be friends with me and think I'm cool and care about what I have to say. Just those things that people value in friendships is so healing to me. Like, I feel that so deep inside of me and like my inner child. I feel like as a child, everybody hated me. Like, I got called SpongeBob in elementary school and maybe a little bit of middle school for, you know, having fucked up teeth and just kind of being fat and like didn't really fit in with the cool girls, and the cool boys would make fun of me and just like, yeah, I really did not belong in that school, and I don't belong here now. This place is not for me. The people here are so judgmental. I didn't feel like I belonged to middle school. I didn't feel like I belonged in high school. But you know where I feel like I belong? On this TikTok. The fact that I am more myself on this TikTok than I am to the people that I know in real life, like my main social media, is crazy. You guys know my honest, authentic self more than anyone around here. I feel like if I were to be myself to most people that I have met in middle school and high school, they would judge me. And honestly, that's just sad. And having you, like, I don't even know. I don't know how to explain it. Like, I have so many thoughts to share, and the fact that somebody wants to listen makes me feel so safe. Like, my opinion is valued. It's crazy. And I'm not the smartest person, and I don't know everything, and I don't know. Like, I'm not the coolest. Like, yes, I'm sitting here talking to you guys, but it is flawed. I'm unorganized. This is my second time talking to a camera. I might say the wrong things or stutter or not make sense, or like, I don't even know, but you're still listening. And that makes me feel so like, dang, I look, you just got really deep and emotional. I'm gonna hit the cart and then we're gonna go back to my bullets. Anyways, thank you guys. The UV rays is natural serotonin. Like, the fact that I'm just sitting here in the sun and I can feel it is amazing. I kind of just want to like lay down for a second and feel it. Hold on. This is absolutely great. I miss the sun. I have seasonal depression, and honestly, I'm doing really good this year. I know how to take care of myself this year, but the last couple years I fell into the biggest slump because I was just lacking it. I'm always such a happy person, and like, I don't know. I feel more alive and healthy in summer, but this winter I'm actually doing really good. But wow, did I miss the sun. And I wonder if I'm doing good this summer because I'm going to the tanning bed, or this winter because I'm going to the tanning bed and I'm actually getting those UV rays. Or is that crazy because maybe, yeah, it's probably not it. It's actually that I just take care of myself. Thank God though, because I was scared for this winter, but we did great. I hit my card. Somebody's walking, but I'm low-key just gonna talk anyways because who even fucking cares? Okay, another thing is like the improved sleep. I sleep so well after a night of smoking weed. And that might be because like I've been smoking weed for a long time and I just kind of like reap those benefits more than others. But I even remember this when I first started smoking weed. Like I would feel like I just slept for the first time in my life. Like I'd be like, "Wow, what was I doing before? Was I sleeping or was I just laying there?" Because now I'm actually getting the benefits and like I don't even know. Like also um when I first started smoking weed, I finally became able to like eat again. I don't even know how to explain it. I have always had an unhealthy relationship with food and I always feel guilty with anything I eat, but when um I first started smoking weed, it made me be able to eat without feeling guilty. And like even just like being nauseous all the time and having so much anxiety in the morning and not being able to eat then, but like your body needs that fuel and like the food helps with the anxiety too. But this person's walking behind me. I just remember that being able to, and even now, but noticed it more in the beginning. Thing they were like really close, and I just sat here like twiddling my thumbs. Like they probably just see this camera and they're probably like, "What the fuck is this bitch doing?" It's probably so cringy from a third perspective, but I don't give a fuck. Okay, but like when I have so much anxiety sometimes and like when thing life feels like it's moving in fast motion and you have to fuel your body, it feels almost impossible. And just being able to like hit the cart and like feel the urge to eat and like I don't know, cuz your body needs the energy, but it's that mental block that's preventing you from eating. Not the fact that you're full or that you don't need to eat like sometimes I won't eat until like 3 p.m. and then it gets to 3 p.m. and I'm not hungry and I'm like, fuck, I need to eat something. But like, and weed just kind of helps with that. Like, just being able to take, three cart rips and then just be hungry again. And I feel a lot of people have this same relationship with weed and just if they have an eating disorder, whether they binge eat and or they can't eat. They starve themselves. I feel that a lot of people find comfort in smoking and just being able to eat food without feeling guilty or taking that anxiety off your back to just, get something into your body. And like, I'm always so cold and shaky and nervous in the morning. And like, my body is just going to overdrive thinking about all the things that I have to do in the day. And I need to eat at some point. Like, sometimes I do wait until later in the day, but like, I don't even know. Anyways, okay. And then because we talked about like the positive outcomes and like those awesome benefits to smoking weed, um, we need to talk about like unwanted outcomes and just negative benefits and the consequences of doing so. Look, you want to hit the card again. I have this slime here. I really want to play with it, but it's holding my paper down. Okay, memory problems. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is such a real thing. I abused the fuck out of weed from like 2021 to like 2023. And like, I just mean that I was high all the time. I was unconscious in my brain. Like I was not in a safe my body was not a safe place. Um I avoided my thoughts. Like I didn't want to feel emotions. I had trauma. I didn't want to feel them, so I would just smoke. And it wasn't like how I do now where I smoke and I go inward and I use it to feel my emotions and kind of connect with myself. It was not like that before. It was to escape all of this, all of reality, all of life, to be in school completely out of mind, out of touch with anything, not have to do schoolwork, just sit there and stare and like and um I don't remember any of it. Like, I remember, yes, some of it in a sense, but I look at myself and I don't remember who I was as a person. I don't remember what happened every day or what it felt like. And like, I like do because like I've done deep diving, but like when I look at my Snapchat memories, I'm like, wow, I don't remember that. Like, I don't remember experiencing that. I don't remember looking like that. I don't remember being that person. I know I was that person. I know who I was. I know what I did. I know how I acted, but I don't remember doing it. I don't remember, like, and that's bad. And I think people confuse the memory problems and think that it means like they can't remember things in present life. Like if I told you something now, you wouldn't be able to remember in a couple hours. No, I don't think it's like that. I think it's the memory problems when you like abuse it and then you're not in your brain so you don't remember all of it as a whole. Not just I don't even know. That's how I interpret it and how I've experienced it, but also, if you have a mental health issue and weed just kind of triggers that off, like sometimes you don't know, like maybe you're super anxious and you think that smoking weed will help you, and then it makes you more anxious, and then that kind of just spirals into a panic attack, a green out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think green outs are from smoking too much weed. I think it's a mental block in your brain. Like, you have this fuck, what's it called? Like prequisited? No. Like you already had your mind made up. This is how it's gonna feel, and there this art was it. Whoa, oh my god, and like what its intentions were gonna be and how it was gonna feel. Like you already knew it was gonna make you more anxious subconsciously. You manifested that into smoking and then greening out and then it being this whole thing. Like but like I don't know. Sometimes I feel like people have to, test the waters and right. You might have a bad experience and maybe that doesn't um I'm so paranoid low key. And maybe that doesn't mean that you never have to smoke again. But you know your body and you know your reactions to things and if it's going to worsen something that is already bad, maybe just breathe for a moment and, kind of process things on your own before you go and you dive into that again because the last thing you want to do is be really upset, and then you smoke it and it literally makes you lose your mind. Like you're so upset, you're sobbing, you can't even control yourself. That's the last thing you want. So if that happens and you know it's going to happen, like I don't know. I would say try to handle it on your own first. But we're all guilty of doing it anyways. Done it anyways too. I've been so sad over a breakup and I hit the card and then it just makes it worse. And like, it doesn't really affect me now. I'm so good with my emotions now. But I wasn't always. So I'm really kind of just talking from the I wasn't always phrase. I I know how weed is gonna affect me now. There's people walking around scared. But okay. Um if it's negatively impacting your schoolwork or work or relationships. This is a given. If you're at work and your manager's like you're not performing right, like you're being weird. You're high. Maybe don't smoke at work. Or I don't know, if you're not getting your schoolwork done and you're in school and you're MIA in the brain and you're not getting your schoolwork done, then maybe don't smoke at school. Been there, done that. Didn't get my schoolwork done. Sometimes still don't get my schoolwork done. Procrastination, always. But yeah, just kind of knowing right place, right time. Like, if it's affecting those things, and your boyfriend's gonna break up with you because he thinks you're high and dumb all the time, then maybe you should break up with them. Just kidding. maybe you should stop smoking weed. I don't know. Do as you please. Don't actually take my advice. Or do. As. If you know, you know. Okay, this lady's walking back again. Also, feeling tired all the time. If you're just smoking, you're just feeling tired and lazy, you know, maybe you need to get sativa. Or maybe you need to stop smoking. I feel like this is going to be a really long episode. I still have a lot more pages and notes on my iPad. Guys are in for a treat. Oh my god. The lady's still right over there. Okay. Anyways, also being aware of the legal consequences. Some of you may be underage. Just be safe, be careful. Don't drive unless, you're all. Anyways, maybe I shouldn't touch on that because that's not very, I don't know, like I'm being a hypocrite. What? Anyways, okay. Addiction or dependency. Um, yeah, just dependency is when your body adapts to a particular substance, leading you to desire more doses and just kind of making that an all the time thing. And if you feel that you're smoking so much fucking weed all the time and you're like, I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe, yeah, no bueno. Okay. So, greening out, anxiety, I already talked about that. Anyways, okay. Um, if you have a really high tolerance, you should probably take a tea break. Just like that was kind of just went with the last thing I said, but just like um smoking a lot of weed and too much weed and you're just getting buying more and more and more and it's not like doing the trick for you. Just take a moment to breathe. You don't need to be high all the time. So many people are walking by. Oh my goodness. Okay. You have to have a bad relationship with weed to have a good one. Like to to know all these things and to be able to be in touch with your emotions and just kind of use it as the tool that it is, you have to have a bad relationship with it. Like to know what to not to be. To know what you don't want to be as a person, you have to experience what you don't want to be as a person. As this is. Um God, there's so many people. Um, so now we're gonna talk about a little bit of my personal experiences. Just like how I was introduced to weed and all of the relationships I have had with it. Like I, Jesus Christ. Okay, I was first introduced to the idea of smoking the summer after eighth grade. So I think that was like 2020. And then freshman year would be 2021, I think. And 2021 is really when I really started getting into it, but you would smoke like puff bars and stuff, like in the bathroom and like. So I think it was around like January of 2021. Um I had my like first introduction to weed. I was always gonna be a fan of it. I remember like watching, I was like talking to this boy and he would always like smoke on FaceTime. And we ended up dating for a really long time. Part of my lore entirely, but I remember he would always like smoke and stuff on FaceTime and I think he was so cool. I was always so about it. I was ready to do it whenever. And then one time we were hanging out with our friends in this little town, and there was this like bridge that would go over the train tracks, and we would all just like hang out in there for like hours, literally. And I wonder one time my friend, she had her like plug like come drop her off edibles, and they were like these Sour Patch Kids, and I feel like they were like 50 milligrams each. I don't even like I don't know for sure, but Loki, that's what my memory is telling me. And And I remember, like, we took them in the bridge, me and this girl, and I think some of the other boys that were there took them, and, like, I think I took 2, and then I was like, "Okay, let's wait." And then I was like, "Oh, I don't feel anything." Like, "What?" So then I think I took 2 more. We all took more because we are like, "Oh, we don't feel anything." No, probably didn't wait long enough, you know? And then I remember I felt it, and I was like, "Whoa." Like, and I remember my heart was pulsing so, like, so fast, and I felt like I was moving in fast motion, and, like, I remember I was probably being so silly, goofy, like, fucking giggling around and shit, and I remember we were, like, in this ice cream shop, and I was, like, asking all these boys to, like, feel my heartbeat. I was like, "Feel my heartbeat," like, oh my god," and then I remember, oh my god, it was so scary. It was so scary. My mom texted me, and she's like, "What are you doing out?" Because I was gonna spend the night at my friend's house, but I wasn't supposed to be out, you know, at 8:30, 9 o'clock at night. You know, my mom wasn't a fan of that. I was young. And she was like, "Okay, I'm gonna come pick you up because, like, what are you doing?" I don't even know. She was like, "What are you doing out?" Like, "I'm gonna come pick you up." And I was like, "No." I had this puff bar, I remember. And I really hope you guys know what I'm talking about with the puff bars. But I remember I was so scared. I was so high. And she came and picked me up, and I put the puff bar in between my butt cheeks because I for sure thought she was going to know I was high or something was wrong. Because I literally was like, I was tweaking. Like, I was not tweaking, like, to myself, but I was tweaking that she was gonna know, you know? So then I remember she, like, took my phone because I was out. And then I remember I get in the shower, and I was probably in there for so long, and it felt so warm. And I was just like in the shower, like, and like, it felt so sensational on my body. I loved it so much. Oh my God. And dude, I feel like I'm missing a part to that story, but I remember I just went to bed without my phone, and I had the most peaceful time in my room. Like, I don't even think I probably had my TV, and I just was like, wow, this is great. Like, life is amazing. Like, I don't need my phone. I love life. Like, this is so cool. I have so many great friends. Like, I was so much serotonin in my body. Oh my goodness. And um and then, like, from then on until, like, I don't even know, I guess, like, wait, I took notes on my iPad. Until, like, March 2021 is when I, like, started. Wait, no. Yeah, I think I started buying carts in March 21. Yeah, I think. But I remember, like, in between that time, like, some of my friends would, like, steal it from their parents and stuff, and I would steal it from my grandpa, and I would just, like, hit it, and I don't even know, I loved it so much, and I would probably eat so much food, so classic. And I just loved being in my room watching TV high. And then I remember the first time that I think the first time I got a cart was, like, around my birthday, and I remember my cousin and I went on a camping trip, and we smoked so much weed in the woods because she had it. She was older than me, and I was like, "Yo, let me hit that," because, like, I was like, "I've been smoking, you know, like, whatever." And then I was like, "Okay, for my birthday, like, can you give me this cart? Like, me and my friends are gonna go on this um like 3-day trip to the beach, like, uh and she, like, gave it to me and stuff with, like, the battery and everything, and I remember we would, like, hit it sneakily at the beach and stuff. And then I remember when we got home, I was like, I immediately just started hitting it every single day. I'm literally still sure I have this cart. And it's like, it was like it has, like, broken glass and everything, but I, like, taped it and stuff because I used to be a fiend and there was wax in there. The good old days. The guy is literally walking with his head turned like this, looking at me, bruh. It's fucking crazy. Like, okay, yes, I am sitting here talking to myself, but it's not that big of a deal. Like, chill. Not that big of a deal. You don't need to keep. I'm literally about to be like, what? Like, what? What? Loki pisses me off. Like, you're still looking. You're still looking. why are we still looking? Everybody else that has walked by has been respectful and just walked with their head down and not looked at me. But this guy wants to whip his head at me. Fuck, what the fuck you looking at, bruh? Bruh. Okay. And I remember when I got home from this trip, I just started smoking it every night. And I would like blow it out my window. Like I literally thought it was such a big deal. I'd open out my window and I'd blow it out my window. And I would take like two carts. And this cart was like metal. It had like gold. I should find it and look at what brand it was. It was, oh my goodness. And dude, that was a great time of my life. And then I started buying carts and like we would buy them at my friend's house. We would like sneak out of her house and go buy them. And like this kid, the first guy that ever sold me carts, like he was my plug for like probably the first 6 months of smoking. He died. He took acid and he drowned in a power plant. And he was so cool. Like we were low-key friends. Like he was just a little bit older than me, maybe like 19 or something, 20. And oh my goodness. Yeah. He did great things for me. He would do crazy stuff. Like he would like put it in, I would put the money in my mailbox and he would put it in the mailbox or like put it in the tree lines or like meet me like I don't even know some like weird place like at my work. I'd go through the Dunkin' drive-through. Dude, he would go to ends meet for me and he really did not deserve that. But I hope he reincarnated as something great cuz he was a great man. Um and we used to people are walking by again. And wait, what was I saying? Oh god. And I used to always take Jeeves with my friends and like her brother and there's like old people older than us. We would always hang out with people older than us and take Jeeves and like the garage and stuff. God, it was a great time. Literally. And then I started like doing it on my own. I started buying weed and the boy that I was dating smoked and like we would smoke in his like little like fuck, he literally had a name, the Milk House, for where we smoked. It was the coolest smoke spot ever. And I started smoking so much bud then. Like, I was such a little hippie. I would smoke so much bud. I would just take Jeeps in my room before school in the morning. Dude, it's crazy. Also, honey bunnies, if you guys know what those are, literally like $20 cards. Like, actually, I remember one time I think somebody was selling them for like $15 out of their backpack at school. It was crazy work, and like they suck so much. They would leak so much, and they tasted so gross. And I didn't even have a battery at that time. I don't think. Like I would literally hit them off wires or like a wires. Yeah, I would the Android, and you'd have the black and the red and then like we started getting Android chargers or not Android chargers, fuck. Views chargers or like Alto chargers because that's a little bit easier. And like we would bring it to school and I would have like a battery charger, like no, like a portable charger. And I would have like the little wires plugged into it and I would just carry it around in my pocket. I would just go into the bathroom. We'd all go in one stall. It was crazy, bro. And we would pass that all through school. Oh my god. I don't know how we got away with that. I'm so lucky that I never got in trouble in school because I was bad. I was so high, so out of mind. Like, oh my god, I did not do my schoolwork. Oh my god. I dude. I'm gonna go onto my Instagram, that like princess the blonde princess Instagram later and post pictures of like what I looked at like through all these phases and you'll be able to tell who I was and what state of mind I was in based on the photos. Wait, I'm scared. Is this hawk gonna come down here? The fuck? Okay, weird. I was so like spiritual and hippie. I would like light incense in my room and I would just take jeeps in my room. I didn't give a fuck, low key. I like didn't even think about the fact that the whole house would smell. I thought I was getting away with it. Like blow it out my window. My parents would be like, the whole house smells like weed. I'd be like, no, it doesn't. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, I will literally get out of things by just gaslighting them so much into thinking that it wasn't true. Like, I'd be like, no. Like, I just wouldn't admit to it. They'd be like, what do you mean? It's a known fact. And I'd be like, no, it isn't. I'd be like, no, it doesn't smell like weed. I'll burn incense over it like that did shit. It almost just made it worse. It was crazy. Um, and I would do it in the morning before school. Sometimes I would go outside, but most of the time I would just be like, whatever. All I had was bud, so I was just smoking bud in my room because I needed to be high. But then like life started becoming like a blur, and I was just like going through the motions and not really like living. Everyone in school would be like, "Are you okay?" And I was absolutely not okay. Like, oh my god. I had no effort in school. I had red eyes all the time. I would fall asleep in class. I literally it was crazy work. Like, I don't even really remember it. Like, how did I get through my freshman year? I have absolutely no clue. The amount of trauma I went through, I don't even remember. I don't remember. I just did. I just it's crazy. Like, um, and then like at the time I was dating this boy and like we would hang out after school and we'd smoke and I'd smoke during school and we broke up. And I broke up with him because I felt like we were too like intertwined for the age that we were at. Like I literally wanted to marry him and like I felt my dumb ass felt like it was too early to be with somebody like that. Like I needed to experience things. And I was just scared, honestly. Feel like it was a flight reaction. I felt like I don't know, it was a lot. It was really a lot for that age and who I was as a person and just the not like the being unconscious and being in a blur did not make that like easy. Like it made it really complicated. Um and oh, there's people walking by. This is therapy. I was just thinking about that in that moment of silence that this is literally so healing. This is gonna make me be able to go about my day better, knowing that I talked and got so many feelings out. Anyways, um, my boyfriend and I broke up, and that same night, some like really traumatic shit. I'll just like simply trauma dump. Like, basically sexual assault. I'm not gonna go into detail, but it really destroyed who I was as a person, knowing that somebody could get just a quick nut to ruin my life, even though I was crying and it was awful and I was so drunk and drugged. And I don't know how I deserved that. And in the moment, that was really hard to process. So I really turned to weed to just get out of my mind entirely. I did not process that until maybe a year and a half ago. I, yeah, enough. Yeah, I low key don't feel like I can talk about this right now, but yeah, I don't remember that time period at all. The, like, I literally just blocked it all out. Like, as a trauma response, I didn't even know I was doing it. I still feel that way, kind of. I feel like that's why I can't remember things. But I feel like I just blocked that all out because I don't want to feel it. I don't remember what it felt like to be there and what that was like. And yeah, I used to use weed as a way to escape from my brain and from my life, but now I use it as a way to process my emotions and heal from those things and just kind of dig deep, feel things raw, you know? Um, I was just a lot around a lot of people that weren't good for me. I was smoking not real weed. I was smoking like gas station cards and just so much brain fog and dissociation and not knowing who I was as a person and making unconscious decisions and I don't even really mean that as like it was all the weed. I was not a good person. I was not in a good state of mind, and I had so much trauma. I didn't know how to heal with it. I just wanted to move past it. I would just it was there, and I just wanted. I didn't want to go through the steps. I just wanted to get over it already. You know, like I kind of just like pretended like it didn't hurt. So I didn't have to feel those things, but and I kind of noticed I was losing myself, and I decided to like delete all of my social media. I think this was maybe like uh, January 2023. So there was a good 2 years that I felt like I was in this unconscious, dissociated, bad person state of mind, like not really knowing who I was, being so lost in life. And I started smoking so much bud and or not so much. I started smoking less, but I was smoking bud and I was being mindful of my emotions and I really wanted to use this time to like dig deep and you know, not feeling the need to like find to like seek attention through like snapping a whole bunch of people and just like find validation in that and just like all the extra things that come with being in this generation and just I wanted to figure out who I was at my core and my roots and just kind of come back to myself. And honestly, it worked. Literally, like, that saved my life. Like, if I didn't decide to look inward, I don't know where I would be. And that's crazy work. Um, Also, I was looking at my memories when I was trying to kind of remember the timeline of all this and just reflect a little bit. I noticed that during this time, that time that I didn't have Snapchat from like January to June 2023, um, I had pink strips in my hair. So like I literally was like, oh, that's so cute. I literally brought it back. I knew I did it before, but I didn't really remember. I think I've done it a couple times, but like I was like, oh, you kind of look like her. You kind of look like her, you know. Um, and then summer came and I completely came back to myself. I gained my spark back and I just distanced myself from people that weren't good for me. Just being in those bad situations, I kind of stopped with the parties. I used to go to parties all the time. I'd go to these house parties or go college parties and I'd be so young. I would be around people and do so many things that I wasn't supposed to do. I was just coping. And like when I stopped doing that, I really grew so much. When I didn't feel the need to, like I didn't feel like I had to blend in, like oh my god, that changed my life. I I started hanging out with my friend Olivia so much and we understand each other. We're so emotionally mature and we just like kind of we're able to guide each other in that type of way of just, you know, gathering our experiences and going about life. I got a new job. I used to work at Dunkin'. It's kind of toxic there. Like, I didn't have the healthiest relationship with working there, and I got a new job, and it just felt like a new start. You know, I was a hostess at a nice restaurant. I felt like I could. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it felt like a new beginning, I guess. Um, And when I noticed when I was looking at the pictures is that like during this time, like from June after I came back to social media and I had Snapchat memories again, I look so much healthier than I did in January. Like the pictures from January, I'm like crying. I look like I don't even know how to explain it. Like I look mentally ill. I look like I am so upset. Like I don't even know how to explain it. I'll show you the pictures, but I started to look healthy again. Like my acne started to go away. I started to like feel healthy in my own body and safe in my own body and like I didn't feel like I was just going through the emotions anymore. I started to feel like I was like living life again and I had the control and like kind of became more spiritually connected and just, you know, kind of looked inward. I realized I really needed to heal that trauma and that yeah. Anyways, um, then August of 2023, I started doing online school. Do like dual enrollment where you like take the hat classes and you get a high school and college credit for it. It's great. I recommend doing it. You get out of school, you get a cheat code, then when you go to college, you're ahead. It's great. Um, and it was the best thing for me. Removing myself from the environment that made me feel like shit. I bloomed as a person. That's how I am. So like I don't even know the way I am because I got to spend so much time with myself. I got to put myself in situations I wanted to be in instead of being forced. I got to move my body. When I started moving my body and going to the gym and doing yoga, I feel like that's the moment I came back to myself when I realized that is what feel good. And when you're laying in bed all day long, oh my god, to me it feels like shit. I literally like, can't do it. And I spent so much time outside and I focused on not smoking so much. and yeah, like really became connected to who I am. And when you start realizing that weed is your biggest tool to connect to yourself, to look inward, it's crazy. Weed is not a drug. It's a medicine and it's plant grown from the ground. And I want to wrap this up. And I was watching this video and they were talking about a sacred ceremonial relationship. And what that means is that you're using the plant as a way to heal from trauma and like rooted trauma and like negative energy and all that like negative stuff deep inside of you that you try to look away and try to escape from. And instead of using it as an escape and you start using it in this sacred spiritual way, it becomes like the biggest tool. Like when you can get high and like reflect on yourself, oh my goodness. So many people they keep walking. And you can use weed to create a different reality and like shift your perspectives and heal from so much trauma and just kind of shift that negative outlook you had on it and kind of realize that that made you who you are. And you needed to go through those things to become who you are. And you need to feel these things to be able to heal it. And we create our own reality. And when you start abusing that power, those guys are definitely making fun of me. They're literally looking at me and laughing. It's crazy work. Like, what? Oh my god. I feel so judged right now. I want to leave, but I have to finish. I just want them to walk away. Jesus fuck. I hate old conservative men that are so judgmental. Just chill, please. Okay, we're gonna wrap this up. I have a few more like notes to touch on. Oh, it's slanted. And then we're gonna skedaddle because I'm getting cold, feeling slightly judged and paranoid. Whew, my hands are freezing. Oh, I'm muddy. I'm muddy too. Jesus Lord. You my good brother. Oh, more people walking by. Okay. Um I think a lot of the time we avoid our emotions and when something's showing up we just kind of look the other way and if it doesn't align with our higher self we need to find the root and like where's that stored on energy stuck at, like get you have to get deep down inside of yourself. You need to feel those things to be able to heal it and create a new reality for yourself. Just i I don't even know how to explain it. We can talk on those like spiritual topics another time, but I just want you to understand how weed is such a healing tool and how I use that to my ability and how that is a healthy relationship with weed versus the negative and what I talked about and who I was before and how I just kind of was out of mind, you know? When you shift the way that you use it and that tool and that like clicks and you realize that you have a person you want to become and you need to connect with your higher self. You need to heal those things to be able to grow and to be able to experience new things. And and weed is your motherfucking best friend. Literally. Jesus Christ. Um yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say. I hope this wasn't really unorganized. I went and checked my camera a second ago, and it was literally like an hour and 15 minutes. It's crazy. I sat here for an hour and 15 minutes and talked about myself. Sorry. Sorry. Okay. Well, don't take my advice too hard because, I'm not a professional. Took notes and, have personal experiences. That doesn't mean I know what I'm talking about. But, mm, I hope you guys have a great day. I hope we can smoke and talk soon.